My name is Denise Spear, and this is my persuasive presentation. There are 7.1 billion people populating our Earth today. According to organdonor.gov, of those 7.1 billion, 122,000 are waiting for an organ transplant to save their life. Donating an organ can save a person's life and make you feel that you have donated someone a chance to wake up every day with a smile on their face, knowing they will survive. Today, we are first going to find out why we need more organ donors. Secondly, to see what the process of becoming an organ donor is. And finally, hearing some people who have donated and received organs. After listening to my speech, I hope that you see that becoming an organ donor is so easy, to know how important it is, and how you can have a chance to someday save a life. How many of you are organ donors? It is the easiest agreement that you can make. We need more organ donors in our world today. According to www.wholeworlds.org, 1,050 people die every 10 minutes. In those 10 minutes, a name is added to the transplant list. If even one of those 1,050 people was an organ donor, we could make it so there is not a transplant list. One donor can save up to 8 different lives. Last year, according to organdonor.gov, over 28,000 successful transplants took place. Think about it and we'll do some math. Over 150,000 people die each day. So think about all the transplants that could be taking place if everyone became an organ donor. If every person that passed away each day was signed up to be an organ donor, we could save up to 1.2 million people every day. That completely erases the number of people waiting for transplant. I did a survey of 50 people, 29 females and 21 males. I asked them all the same question. Are you or have you ever been an organ donor? 17 of the females and 11 of the males were already donors. The other 12 females and 10 males were not donors yet, but would like to become one. It doesn't matter what age, religion, or race you are. All our organs are made in the same way. Now, don't think we want you to donate an organ while you are still alive and healthy, even though that is a possibility to some. We want you to be thinking for the future. So one day when our oblivion comes and we don't want what we have to go to waste. Now, we will move ahead to see how the process of becoming an organ donor works. Based on what www.donatelife.net has to say, there is only one step between you and becoming an organ donor. There are a couple different ways to agree to being a donor. One option is to agree when you go to the DMV to get your driver's license. Another simple way is to log on to one of the many websites there are to register, such as organdonor.gov or donatelife.net. You fill out a simple registration and voila, you are then a registered organ donor. Simple as 1, 2, 3. It doesn't cost you anything and there are no strings attached. The next step doesn't take place until you pass away and there is a match from one of many of your organs to another person. Now, for a person to be put on the transplant list, they must become part of the organ distribution process. A transplant team must review the patient and see if they are physically and mentally prepared right for a transplant. When a donor becomes available, the organ procurement organization reviews the criteria of the donor and finds a match on the transplant list. From then on, you have to move fast. The recipient of the organ has to be admitted to the hospital and put into surgery procedure, and then the organ must be removed from the donor and transferred to the recipient. The organ is then brought into surgery and transplanted into the recipient. The last process is the recovery of the recipient. They have to make sure that everything heals right and that their immune system takes to the new organ. Lastly, we will hear of some successful donations and received transplant stories. First, we will hear Katie's story. 22-year-old Katie Milano was in a fatal car crash and flown by helicopter to the closest hospital. Her mother, Linda, was notified and told to come and meet them at the hospital. But as soon as Linda arrived, the doctors gave her the news that Katie was declared brain dead. Linda told the doctor that a few years ago, after losing some close friends, Katie had signed up to become an organ donor. So Linda talked to the hospital's transplant team. Katie was able to donate her kidneys, liver, and pancreas. She saved 3 people's lives. A little girl was given her liver, a gentleman from New York was given a kidney, and Gregory Krause was given her other kidney and pancreas. A few months after Katie's death, Linda met with Gregory, and he told her what his life was like before the transplant and how Katie had changed his life. Linda quotes, "She was a very loving and caring girl, and through her death she has helped many." The next story is about Allie and Christine, a recipient and a donor. Allie DeRoos had a liver transplant at age 11. She had been diagnosed with progressive familiar intrahepatic cholestasis. She received a liver from a 13-year-old living in the Midwest that had passed away. Immediately after the transplant, she noticed a great difference. 6 years after Allie's transplant, her grandmother, Christine, suffered from a stroke and was brain dead. Allie's mother quotes, "Because of the gift Allie received and our transplant experience, it was understood. My mom had also said, if this time comes, tell them to take whatever they can use." And they did. Christine was able to donate her liver to help save the life of a 61-year-old man who was very grateful. In conclusion, donating an organ can save a life, or even many lives, and can change somebody's life forever. You heard of why we need more organ donors today, how easy it is to become one, and stories that made you see both sides of the organ donation process. Don't live your life knowing there's people out there suffering, when all you have to do is agree to take the one step and get that chance to someday save a life.